So World of Tanks 9.0 is here on the live server on NA, and it is hideously broken. Lots of people are having trouble crashing to desktop with the new graphic settings. They're having trouble crashing to desktop if they go anywhere near, look at, or otherwise think of a Hellcat. And a lot of mods aren't quite working properly. So Wargame, there are a bunch of other minor issues too. The auto-aim bug that I pointed out in my test server replays is still in the game, hasn't been fixed, and there are a host of other things. Game hangs on tanks getting blown up within render distance, so on and so forth. So until Wargaming release a hotfix, and they know about most of these issues, I'm playing without mods because I don't want to have to update my mods again after the hotfix invariably breaks them. So no XVM, no scroll, no anything. This is just straight up without mods. And also between the lack of mods and the crashing, I don't really want to play the game in 2010 mode, so I decided I'd just play a bunch of low tier games in my BTSV, which I need to do anyway to try and get 6 cents on the commander. And you know, if I crash, it's a low tier game, who gives a shit. Plus, I'm sure you guys could always use more BTSV videos. So as usual, first thing I do is take it to the hill. The BTSV is blind. It has the same view range as the Hetzer, 280 meters, so it can't see shit. I think its camera is okay, but not great. Obviously has excellent mobility, but it's not really something I would use as either a passive or active scout. It's just not suited to it. So instead of scouting down the 1 and 2 lines, I come to the hill where I can use my ridiculous power to weight ratio and get up the hill before the enemy team do. So this match is unfolding in kind of a strange way, but it is low tier, so I should have expected that. There's actually not much going on. The flanks are pretty much empty. Most of the enemy team seem to be turtled up along the 6 line on their side of the rails, like the cap side, so not really something you see very often. So I'm taking shots where I can get them. I get shot in the back by a T-60. So he's obviously more of a threat to me than the guys in the middle who don't even know I'm here, or indeed which game they're playing. So I decide to tangle with the T-60, get him dealt with, and I can go back to shooting the guys in mid. Light him on fire there. As a general rule, low tier pubbies don't use consumables at all, let alone fire extinguishers, but I put the second shot in just to make sure. At higher tiers, usually they will be carrying at least a manual extinguisher, often an automatic. Even pubbies seem to have cottoned on to the fact that it's a good idea. It's actually a shame they haven't done the HD rework for the BTSV yet. I'm not even sure if they will do one because it's such a rare tank, but being able to see the suspension on this thing go on this kind of terrain would be magical. Look at this thing shift. 72 kilometers an hour downhill. You've got to be careful actually in this tank. You can quite easily kill yourself by going too fast and catching a lot of air. And if your suspension bottoms out and the actual hull hits the ground, it will do damage. I've actually killed myself before in this tank by doing exactly that. Got a pretty decent advantage here, or so you would think. I've actually seen pubbies throw away better advantages than this today, so I decided I'd go try and spot these guys and draw their fire while my pubbies head towards the cap. Of course my pubbies didn't head towards the cap, they followed me, but well, you know, what can you do? They're low tier pubbies. The BTSV's speed is its main asset. Sometimes it doesn't work, but in this case I managed to catch their TDs, not unawares, but unprepared. I think they were trying to set to engage our other tanks. And all that's left is this poor little D2 all by himself. I could honestly just take him in a straight up DPM fight at the moment, but I like to keep moving. especially since my own teammates nearly hit me. And that cleans him up for my 4th kill. I will never get tired of playing this tank. It's so fun. It's like the 50-2 if it was always in a tier 5 or 6 match. That's probably the best way I can put it. It has the same, or actually higher, I think, power to weight ratio as the 50-2 had. It's about the same size, maybe a bit bigger. It's just a monster. It's so much fun to play. And when it ends up top tier, it's absolutely just murder on the enemy team. If the opportunity comes up to get one, I would absolutely recommend getting it. Sometimes these pre-order packs, or not pre-order, sorry, the special store box editions pop up on Ukrainian, Russian, Belarus websites, and usually they're around 100, 120 US. If you have the money to spare and you can justify spending it on internet tanks instead of food or rent or other things, that frivolous bullshit normal people don't need, I would definitely recommend it. And the 2J as well, pick that up if you get half a chance. They're just so much fun, and if you've had a shit day in high tiers, you can just come back down, play your BTSV and de-stress to your heart's content.